This is a type of empanada from Argentina with a beef filling that has hard-boiled egg and green olive in it. The home-style version of these is quite simple, being just ground beef seasoned primarily with cumin and smoked paprika. But the best quality empanadas in Argentina are made with steak, not ground meat. It's coated with a dry rub and cooked slowly. The flavor of the meat that I'm showing you here is something that really stands out. It's nothing like the other empanadas you probably had. And although there are a few steps, it really isn't difficult.
I have the seasonings assembled: 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1½ teaspoons of finely ground black pepper, 1½ teaspoons of cumin seeds whole, ½ teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and 2 teaspoons of pimenton, using a Spanish smoked paprika. We'll give this a little mix first just to help it out. Then we've got the meat. Now I'm using a piece of meat here. It's like a scrap. If you buy a primal cut and you're cutting ribeye steaks, you get pieces like this. There's no real name for this cut. Entrecôte. It's a sort of entrecôte, but it's kind of a scrap off of the end. So you're going to coat this well, and then we'll begin browning it. This is what you want to see. The meat is very heavily seasoned. Right? There's no seasoning left in the bottom of the bowl. It's all on the meat. A little bit of oil in here to get it started. Pan's very hot already. You want to get brown on it, but we're not looking to get it black like if we're making osso buco. You know, also don't want to burn the spices that are on there, especially since the pepper is ground fairly fine. It'll burn easily, so keep an eye on it. You want to get good brown on the outside, but don't go crazy. After you've got the meat satisfactorily browned, you deglaze the pan with the red wine and turn the heat off at the same time. Just let this sit for a couple of minutes to boil off some of the alcohol. Now I've got the meat that's been browned by turning it around quite a few times. I've got a head of garlic here. I'm just going to give it one slice down the middle. That's all we need to do. Now into the braising dish. I'm going to put that garlic in the bottom, pieces of meat, and the wine that was used to deglaze the pan. This is not very much liquid, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Put the lid on it and start to braise. The chimichurri sauce should be made a day ahead of time because it takes a little while for it to kind of settle in in the refrigerator. So we've got ½ a cup of cilantro, about ¼ of a cup of parsley, a couple of cloves of garlic. I gave them a rough chop, about 15 grams of red onion or shallot, 45 milliliters of red wine vinegar, a tablespoon of dried oregano. You can use fresh oregano. Believe it or not, dried is actually better for this. A little salt, a little ground pepper, and now with the stick blender going, I'm going to add the olive oil to this. Scrape it out into a container, put it in the refrigerator, and let it rest overnight. Finally, after the long braise time, the meat is kind of like blackened on top. It's not really burned, it's really deep Maillard reaction. I'm going to turn it over like this and let the crust on this kind of soak in the fat. I'm not going to put it back in the oven, just going to leave it sit like this for a little while. And the next morning we have the meat that was separated. We've got, this is the liquid that was passed through a sieve, and there's a layer of fat on top here that you have to scrape this off, get rid of this fat. You want the stock-like solution, jellified stock that's underneath it, but you don't want all this fat. It's just too much. Now into the food processor bowl, we're going to put this chilled meat, about 45 grams coarsely chopped onion, and liquid that was defatted after it was strained from the braise. Meat's cold because it came out of the refrigerator, so you might need to break it up a little bit to get it started. Okay. And this is what you end up with, this Argentinian type of meat flavor. And this goes in with green olives and hard-boiled egg into the empanadas for a traditional taste. You could also just use it straight. Because more has to go into this type of empanada, I used the larger mold here. So some of the meat, slice of hard-boiled egg, and I'll take an olive, green olive, and break it into a couple pieces and put it in there. I'm also going to seal this with some water around the edge to make sure it doesn't open up. So the more filling you have in it, the more prone it's going to be to opening up. And there we have one ready to fry or to bake. And we have a chimichurri sauce, which normally you just dip in, but I'm going to open one of these up to show you. Inside there's the hard-boiled egg, of course, and everything. It looks good, but it tastes phenomenal.
If you like my videos, look for my cookbook, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other internet book sites. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.